Informer, you know, say that I'm a snowman, I go blam. I like you bum bum down. Take the man that say that I'm a snowman, stab somebody on the land. I like you bum bum down. Informer, you know, say that I'm a snowman, I go blam. I like you bum bum down. Take the man that say that I'm a snowman, stab somebody on the land. I like you bum bum down.
Almost forgot what I was doing. Almost forgot where I was going. I've been driving, I've been smoking. Almost forgot what I was doing. Almost forgot what I was drinking. What the hell have I been thinking? Now I'm just riding through the city. Now I'm just riding through the city. And ain't nobody rolling with me. And ain't nobody rolling with me. It ain't no problem, I'm gon' get it. It ain't no problem, I'm gon' get it. This is true. Riding around smoking by myself. Don't you know I do it so well? Dollar signs all on my head. Rolling solo dolo, this is true. Hey, almost forgot what I was doing. Almost forgot where I was going. I've been driving, I've been smoking. Almost forgot what I was doing.
We get the fuck up in there, let's go.
Almost forgot what I was drinking. What the hell have I been thinking?
Rapping for my section, roll with my protection. Who gon' die next? Ain't tryna get elected. Riding by myself, time for some reflection. I feel like a young boss, that's thankful for his blessings. I can't even lie, I ain't even flex. Block for me, black man, know they tryna stretch us. I ain't tryna preach, I ain't tryna lecture. When you make your first million cash, you gon' feel the pressure. Just wanna feel a thrust, wanna feel a texture. Wanna feel a drop top breeze, wanna feel successful. Wanna chase a county, never chase a message. Never stop grinding, cherish no possessions. We ain't get accepted, we just reinvest. Thanks what I expected, cause we ain't even central. 60th the Mecca, choppers fuck detectives. FBI investors, but they can't arrest us. Almost
forgot what I was doing. Almost forgot where I was going. I've been driving, I've been smoking. Almost forgot what I was doing. Almost forgot what I was drinking. What the hell have I been thinking? Now I'm just riding through the city. Now I'm just riding through the city.
See little shit like that. Next thing, but no. What it is you really do.
You, what it do? I know that's my shit too. That is my shit off of that album, yo. That is one of my absolute favorites besides Blue Laces. For real. If my mic is low, I apologize. I don't know why this shit started doing this at the last second like this. But what it do, y'all? I'm the host with the motherfucking most. Chill motherfucking Murray. Live from the Spot Podcast. Shout out to everybody tuning in and not tuning in. You know how we do and how we ride. What it do to Icon Von in? Icon Von, Fury B, what it do, my brother? You was catching Trump getting roasted, DNC, I see. I'm gonna leave Trump alone for right now. I know the Trump supporters are definitely not gonna like me after I do my next one. So I'm leaving him alone for now. I'm gonna leave him alone for now. But once again, I love all y'all. Thank you once again for the birthday wishes. I am a little bit under the weather still. I am recovering, so if you hear me sniffling and whatnot, I apologize ahead of time. But my brother has had a rough weekend. A little bit sick, but I get congested. I don't know about anybody else. I get congested with cold air. When lots of cold air is blowing on me at one time, I get heavily congested. And for some reason, call centers like to have a lot of cold air. I get it killing the germs, but don't kill the people. Don't kill your employees while you're doing it. That's my thing. But anyway, anywho, like I said, let me know if my mic is too low. I will do my best to adjust it later on. I was messing with it beforehand, trying to see if I can get the shit to work. Oh, here we go. Now I think I got it. Now we good. Okay, now we good. Good timing, Streamlabs. Thank you. All right. So, where are we going to get into first? Trump backseat on Jeep. Let's swing Epstein. I like that one. I like that. I like that. I like that. All right, where we gonna go? Well, I guess we all gonna we can talk about Trump a little bit. We can talk about Trump a little bit in the form of the Swifties. So before we get into the Swifties, or should I say, we're gonna get into Miss Taylor Swift. So, and my whole thing is, I don't understand why they seem to think this is Al Qaeda. This is just my hops. I don't know why they think this shit is Al Qaeda. I just don't understand why. But Taylor Swift, so the third teenager in custody over a foiled attack on Taylor Swift's show in Vienna. So if you don't know, there's a supposed bomb plot that was going to happen in Vienna at one of her shows in Vienna, into which this 19-year-old and a couple other kids were pretty much planning on bombing the event. And they were also going to commit suicide after the fact. So let's just, instead of me doing any reading.
We are continuing to follow breaking news in our World Lead. 3 upcoming Taylor Swift concerts in Vienna, Austria have been canceled after Austrian authorities arrested 2 suspects who they say had plans to carry out a terrorist attack at the concert site. That's according to the promoter for the show. So let's bring in CNN security correspondent, former FBI counterterrorism agent Josh Campbell, as well as CNN senior national security analyst Julia Kayyem. Josh, what do we know about these 2 suspects who were arrested, and what kind of attack they were allegedly planning?
Yeah, Jake, so this reporting comes from our colleague Zahid Mahmood in London. Essentially what police are saying is that these 2 individuals were arrested in connection with an alleged terror plot. Singer Taylor Swift obviously has her large-scale touring events that were scheduled to take place. 3 of those concerts have been canceled due to this potential threat. What we're learning from authorities is that one of these suspects is a 19-year-old man that authorities believe was radicalized online and it pledged some type of allegiance to the so-called Islamic State. And of course, all of us who've covered these terrorism cases over the last, decade, 2 decades know that this is the playbook that these terror groups often go to, is trying to find people online. It's much more difficult, much more risky for them to gather operatives to send places, a lot easier for them to try to use the internet to try to radicalize people. It looks as though at least...
Now, it is also in the government's playbook to make us think that it's some damn Islamic terrorists that don't actually exist, a la Osama bin Laden. Okay, it's a lot of motherfuckers I can think of that y'all try to make us think exist that don't. Thus, the CIA is ISIS, and being that they did this shit, I think I'm gonna do that one day. We're gonna go down that rabbit hole and break down how ISIS is the CIA. So I get annoyed, like heavily annoyed, whenever I hear the Al Qaeda bullshit. Like I really do. Knowing that the fucking CIA is ISIS. That part just bothers me hearing every time. It's probably a climate change activist because of her jet usage, unless she's another traffic star. No, so here's my thing, right? And I'm gonna let the clip go. It's not necessarily Al Qaeda, as much as this shit is just them trying to. It's all the bad guys, right? It's more so them trying to sabotage Taylor Swift, because Taylor Swift is pro Kamala. She's pro Democrat. So this is more of a thing. Excuse me. This is more of a thing where she's not complying. She's one of the more bigger stars. She's the biggest star in music right now. Being that Drake is the fuck out of here, she's the biggest star in music right now. So being that the biggest star in music is publicly and vocally siding with Kamala Harris, and the government doesn't necessarily want, anybody publicly, if you notice, siding with Kamala Harris. Now you have the Beyonce Taylor Swift thing happening, but think about this. How loud have they been promoting that? You have to also put that into perspective. How loud have they actually promoted that? They haven't promoted that at all, really. It's just been hearsay. So when Taylor Swift is doing her own thing willy-nilly, saying that she's anti-Trump and doing her own little thing with the Swifties, they don't necessarily like that.
According to police, that is what is happening here. And finally, as we look at a concert venue, obviously that has itself a potential symbolic type of attribute to it. We've seen in the past that there have been
that part, Fury B. She owns all of her shit. She's independent right now and the biggest music star. Now, let's also think about this. Yes, she owns all her shit. She owns her masters, but she is an Interscope artist.
And large-scale concerts in Europe that were attacked. It was obviously back in May of 2017, a bombing at a concert where singer Ariana Grande was performing. Obviously, in 2015 in Paris, there were a number of events there, including the stadium that was attacked as well. And so anytime you have people that are gathering in these large-scale venues, that could be a potential terrorist threat. And then finally, it's worth noting that we've seen at many concerts, including with Taylor Swift, that you can actually protect the inside. You can send people through metal detectors and the like, but these concerts often have large gatherings outside as well. So a lot of risk there, especially when you have a potential plot underway. Here, the concert promoter opting to cancel all of these concerts, Jake.
And Juliet, more than 50,000 people were expected to attend Swift's shows each night in Vienna. How do authorities manage to keep events at this scale safe?
So generally, it's just the typical layered defense. We always like a specific place, a specific time, because it is a way that you can then sort of layer your resources, whether it's surveillance on the outside, metal detectors on your way in, police officers, drones. Just think of sort of your regular mega event planning. As you know, as just at the Olympics, it's the same thing. You just got like lots and lots of capacity. So I want to tell you sort of my, having been in this field, two things happened, or two things went into the calculation of why they decided to cancel. Either the Taylor Swift people were not getting enough information from public authorities and law enforcement officials to feel satisfied that not only the crowd was protected, but certainly Taylor Swift was protected. Or they were told information and it was scary enough that they decided we're just going to sort of let things subside for a little bit. We certainly don't know the nature of the planning, how far along it was. Was it a bunch of guys just talking and trying to collect things, or was it very serious? But for her to cancel and all the rippling effects that.
So here's the thing, right? Her canceling everything is pretty much her being cautious. Okay, it's being cautious as well as it is being proactive to her fans, because I'm pretty sure now her team has given her some type of insight to what I just was also talking about. What up, Malcolm? What it do, my brother? Yes, we're gonna get into Mr. Big U later on. I call him Big U Liar U. That's what I call Big U right now. Tado, what it do? What it do? She's with the BS. She's channeling with all her concerts. She's been performing spells and magic. So best believe she all with this. Yes. So yes, as far as that goes, then that side of the music industry, yes, Taylor is definitely one of those. I wouldn't be surprised if she's part reptilian. She's just probably one of the good reptilians, if there is one. But Taylor Swift is pretty much under attack. And this is just my hops. She's pretty much under attack by whoever is, helping with the Heritage Foundation. She's pretty much under attack by the Heritage Foundation, who's funding Project 2025. Reason why I say that is because she's also been promoting she's been, shall I say, loud about being anti-Project 2025. So that's another thing. So look at this here, right? This is the Trump shares fake Swifties for Trump images. So apparently, former President Donald Trump shared AI-generated images of women wearing "Swifties for Trump" T-shirts to his Truth Social account on Sunday, including a satirical post that claimed Taylor Swift fans were turning to Trump after security concerns forced the cancellation of her Vienna concerts earlier this month. See what I mean? So following the cancellation of it, now all of a sudden he's making it look like she's pro-Trump. This is what I'm saying. They're trying to make it. They try to even go the Al Qaeda route, but clearly it was someone else that was trying to do that. Clearly it was someone else doing that. Like, yeah, you have them radicalized, but guess what? Matthew Crooks was supposedly radicalized, wasn't he? He was supposedly radicalized by anti-Trumpers, right? So don't give me the Al Qaeda bullshit lie when I know it's something else different. Trump captioned the post, "I accept," and shared screenshots of 4 Twitter posts that show women wearing Swifties for Trump t-shirts, as well as a fabricated image of Taylor Swift that reads, "Taylor wants you to vote for Donald Trump." Swift has not endorsed a presidential candidate in this election, but endorsed President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris in the 2020 race. Swift has previously been critical of Trump, including for his comments during the Black Lives Matter protests that followed the murder of George Floyd in 2020. So one of the Twitter posts Trump included, which showed several women, hold on, with these ads here. Pardon me, with the ads from CBS News. So this is the shirts here. As you can see here, the Swifties turning to Trump after ISIS foiled Taylor Swift concert. See what I mean? Like, shit is all forced. It's all forced. The Heritage Foundation fed a bullshit story to the news about Al Qaeda, or should I say that them working hand in hand? So we got a bullshit story about Al Qaeda, just so they can do this. And of course, Taylor Swift was not feeling that, and now they're talking about she's threatening to possibly sue because she can actually sue. That's the only thing. She can actually sue for this. Heritage is CIA, yeah. Pretty much. Heritage is also CIA. That's what I'm saying. Everybody's connected as far as this goes. This wasn't no fucking Al Qaeda. That's just my thing. This was not Al Qaeda that did this with Taylor Swift. For that, and that's why I waited a couple of days. I want to see, okay, what are you trying to alley-oop yourself for? Because you're not just going to have a bomb threat and then nothing else happens after that. So then we get this bullshit that Trump shares fake Swifties for Trump images. But yeah, man, speaking of fake AI, we might as well get into this here. So apparently, there was a trailer made for the Simpsons movie, right? Trailer was made for the damn Simpsons movie, and quite a few people thought this shit was real. Now, I probably shouldn't have gave a spoiler alert, but I like to keep my people informed. But take a look at this.
Hi there, I'm Homer Simpson. Welcome to our crazy little world. Let me introduce you to my family, friends, and some of the other colorful folks in Springfield. First up, there's my lovely wife, Marge. She's the glue that holds this family together with her patience and love. And check out her hair! Isn't it something? Next, we've got my boy, Bart. He's a little troublemaker, always getting into mischief. But deep down, he's got a heart of gold. Just don't tell him I said that. Then there's Lisa, our little genius. She's the smartest one in the family by a mile. Always reading, always thinking, and always trying to make the world a better place. Now, there's Ned Flanders, our next door neighbor. He's a bit too perfect sometimes, but you gotta love him. We've got my buddies from work, Lenny and Carl. We share a lot of laughs at the power plant. Speaking of which, my boss, Mr. Burns, is always around to make my job interesting, and his loyal assistant, Smithers, is always by his side. Mo, the grumpy bartender at Mo.
Now, reason why this started really going around was because of the fact that they have actual people in here. What it do, Juju? They have actual people in here. Or should I say, likeness images of real people. Okay, so you have, like, you see Ben Stiller here. And if the untrained eye to AI had not noticed this was, you would pretty much think that that's actually Ben Stiller. But it's actually not. So think about this, right? We have here a trailer in which it's narrated by Adam Sandler. But it's not actually Adam Sandler. It's just an AI voice generated narration of Adam Sandler. Then we have on top of that, we have the likeness use of a few different celebrities here besides Ben Stiller. We've seen who else did we just see here? Look at this. Neil Patrick Harris. Pretty much split an image of Doogie Howser, and he's going to be playing Waylon Smithers. But then look at Steve Buscemi. Mr. Burns. Looks just like Steve Buscemi. And you got Jordan Peele. You almost can't even tell the difference. Will Ferrell is Ned Flanders. So, if we're really going to be honest here, AI could take over as far as the box office is concerned. They really could take over, and you wouldn't even realize that it's the actual people or not.
The grumpy bartender at Moe's Tavern is where I spend a lot of my time unwinding with a Duff beer. You'll often find Barney there too, my best friend and the biggest beer lover in town. Chief Wiggum is our local law enforcement, always trying his best to keep Springfield safe. Principal Skinner runs Springfield Elementary, where Bart and Lisa go to school. He's always butting heads with Bart. Apu runs the Quickie Mart with his wife Mangela. He's always got a friendly smile and a quick, "Thank you, come again." Milhouse Van Houten is Bart's best friend. He's a bit of a nerd and always gets dragged into Bart's schemes, but he's loyal to the end. Otto Mann is the bus driver who gets our kids to school. He's a bit of a rocker and loves his heavy metal music, but he always gets the kids there, safely most of the time. Reverend Timothy Lovejoy is the pastor at the First Church of Springfield. He's there to guide us spiritually, though sometimes he seems a bit jaded. Dr. Julius Hibbert is our family doctor. He's always got a laugh, even when he's giving bad news. And boy, do we visit him often with all our injuries and mishaps. So that's the gang. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Welcome to Springfield.
And like I said, people pretty much went on a rave. What made me talk about this was the fact that a couple of people on my timeline was sharing this and thinking that this was actually real. A live action Simpsons movie was coming, right? But I also thought about Black Mirror. If anybody has seen the show Black Mirror, you would remember that there was an episode, I believe season 6, episode 1, in which there was a character named Joan who was pretty much her life was told on this fake Netflix called Streamberry. And every single day she would come home to watch her, pretty much a mirror version played by Selma Hayek of her on the TV show. And it was her everyday life. It wasn't just her work life, it was everything she was doing. But what ended up happening was it ended up affecting her real life because people started to hear what she actually thought of her coworkers, of her friends, and things like that. So imagine someone hearing your actual thoughts and you have some negative shit to say about them, right? And it just comes out on a show how you actually feel about them. Imagine that. So Selma Hayek pretty much goes to the Streamberry director and she's like, "Hey, you got me taking shits at people's jobs and doing this, that, and the third. Like, yo, I didn't sign up for this, but we did sign you up for this because we paid to use your likeness."
I have to say that actually, legally, the Streamberry Corporation can do this.
What? How?
Trust me, I'm as shocked as you are.
But the show is using my life. It's my name, it's my career, it's me. They're using me, so...
And you assign them the right to exploit all of that.
What? When?
Terms and conditions.
I have never seen this before.
You have. You just haven't seen it printed out before. All of that would have popped up on your phone or whatever when you first signed up to Streamberry, and you clicked accept.
But, I mean, I had...
Think about that, right? And we that was also covered in the Iron Sky Coming Race movie, how people don't ever read the terms and conditions of they shit, and they just hit the fucking accept. Perfect example here where someone just hits accept and accepted the streaming service to use their likeness any way that they wanted.
No, how was I supposed to know this?
I know, but you did accept it, and so they're in the clear.
No. They can't do this to me.
There are only so many ways for me to tell you that they absolutely can.
Okay, well, Selma Hayek.
She licensed her image to them. The entire show is CGI. It's generated by some kind of super advanced, deep fake quantum computer mumbo jumbo.
Right, so it's all computers.
That's how they get it on the service so fast.
But how do they even know what I'm doing? It's the same day.
Well, you know when you got your phone face down on the table and you're in your kitchen and you're talking to your friend about, I don't know, shoe deodorizers. And then, you go on your computer and what pops up? A shoe deodorizing ad.
Yeah, so?
That's how they know.
Okay, but the show makes stuff up about me, right? It embellishes things. It makes me look worse than I really am. So, defamation.
There's something about creating characters and dialogue for dramatic purposes.
Exactly. So there's no way around that. There's absolutely no way around it. So you said Disney is actually doing that right now too, where they're taking people's likeness and see, you can't even put that past Disney doing that. You can't put Disney past that, because I expect Disney of all people to start that trend to where they don't want to put it like this, right? They're trying to avoid the Nickelodeon shit. Imagine if there was a doc on Disney. Imagine if there was a doc on the fucking Disney kids. Do y'all notice how many Disney kids are either dead, in jail, or on fucking drugs? Just think about that. Probably the only sane Disney kid I can think of right now was Justin Timberlake. that's the only goddamn Disney kid I can think. He don't even really count. I'm just saying, it ain't too many survivors of the Disney kids, because they all were part of the 27 Club. All of them. Literally, all of them were a part of the 27 Club. So it's like promotion to make her bigger than what she is. Well, so the thing with this particular scenario was you can use a person's likeness however you actually want. So the streaming service was able to use her image in whichever way they wanted. Regardless if it was Selma Hayek playing her as the character, Selma Hayek wasn't even in the actual show herself, and Selma Hayek had some words about it saying, hey, you can't use my goddamn face like this. Well, actually, we can. Gave her the same exact explanation that she's getting, pretty much. And once you sign that contract to where you turn over your actual likeness and whatnot. So, perfect example, right? Merchandise. You know how most artists will sign over their rights for merchandising and whatnot, saying we can use your likeness for the merchandising and whatnot. We'll put the shit together for you and wrap it up and whatnot. Just make sure it's good. That's pretty much what this is. That's pretty much what this is right here.
I agree. I hate to say it, but this thing is watertight. Oh, thank God. They got you every which way and then some. My advice is to try and ignore it.
What the fuck kind of advice is that?
It's the only kind I got.
Hi, guys. Hey, how you doing out there? Cool. Fuck!
But yeah, man. I just wanted people to be a little bit more informed as far as how AI is starting to take over. AI is definitely taking over quicker than most people want to realize. Especially when you're able to make entire trailers with people's faces, with actual stars like that. So imagine us having an entire movie that's actually made. So think about this, right? What if there was an actual live action Simpsons movie that was made and we didn't know it was AI? What if the studio actually paid that gentleman that made that AI creation, right? What if they put a little bit of money behind him and said, hey, we're going to actually make a full production of this. We don't have to have Adam Sandler in it. We don't have to have any of those other people in it. We can actually make it look like it's other people. We can use other stars. We can use brand new stars. We can make up some names and make brand new stars. We can make a bunch of what do you call it? What was that? AI Mecca? Remember that rapper AI Mecca? I think it was. Can make a bunch of those, but real life versions. That's my thing. It's the fact that humans are pretty much becoming so obsolete. So obsolete. Humans, the value of humans in seeing actual people is just decreasing more and more and more to where people don't even really care to see the real thing anymore. People don't care to see the real people anymore. But like this, I could be AI right now. I could be AI right now. How many of you would actually know? You wouldn't. You wouldn't necessarily even know. Aguilera means eagle in Spanish. That's a new one. I didn't know that. That's a new one. Okay, so I guess we will get into the third thing I had in here. I didn't really have too much besides because we covered a lot last night. This is pretty much me just covering what I had left. And then, I did promise someone that I was going to spin the block. So here I am. Here I am. Miss Creation's jail call.
Jumped off the porch when I was like 8. Niggas don't like me cause majority.
I hate when they do that.
Direction. I'm going until further notice. Peace.
Hey, big babies! Don't be sad. It's okay. I got snowed up in here. I ain't gonna hold you. I was tweaking for real. But I'm gonna be a buck. I use this time to really heal. I'm healing from a lot of shit. I ain't gonna hold you. A lot of shit. A lot of stuff I be telling y'all, but I don't be telling y'all everything. So you know how that go. But yeah, I'm gonna be out and I'm gonna be better. I can't wait to drop my song for y'all. And I can't wait to just be better rock,
Jumped off the porch when I
and it saddens me seeing something like that because my whole thing is she's in jail now facing up to 8 years, as well as the baby father is now supposedly facing time as well. So it says here that Blueface sentenced to 4 years in prison while Kreayshawn Rock was facing 8 years. Blueface was sentenced to 4 years in prison while his on-again, off-again girlfriend, Kreayshawn Rock, may face up to 8 years, both on drug charges. So, according to Fox 11 LA, the Tatiana hitmaker violated his probation in connection with the 2021 assault of a security guard at a North Hollywood lounge. TMZ reported that his manager, Whack 100, said that he was able to get his sentencing suspended for the past few years. But after he was caught with drug paraphernalia, the judge had to give him the maximum sentence. Whack also added that he is confident that Blueface will be home in about 10 months. He already served 440 days served time. Kreeshawn was transferred from a California prison to a facility in Oklahoma last Wednesday to face trial for drug charges that could result in a maximum sentence of 8 years. The Maryland rapper had been previously charged with possession of controlled dangerous substances with the intent to distribute and failure to have a tax stamp affixed to the drugs. So despite being aware of the arrest warrant since March, she hesitated to turn herself in, fearing for the well-being of her son, whom she shares with Blueface. So, needless to say, she's not coming home anytime soon. She's not coming home anytime soon. And I kind of wish that she had actually, took it upon herself to take better measures and precautions as far as removing herself from Hollywood, because then we wouldn't even have to deal with, she wouldn't even have to deal with any of this going on right now. But once you're bind in taking the oath, you have no choice but to deal with those type of things. And Blueface is going to come home quicker than her, have everything set up to where he takes the child, she remains in jail. I could already see how this play is going to happen, unfortunately, for poor Kreeshawn. That was one of the reasons why I shared her backstory, that video of her and her sister and how she grew up and things like that, because she had a very, very hard background in life. Very, very hard background in life. And for her to just deal with what she's been dealing with in Hollywood and have no choice at this point but to do damn near a decade, while her son pretty much is going to be raised in Hollywood, unfortunately, without, that's another thing too. All this was pretty much just to get a baby. You know how sick Hollywood is. We've already covered how sick Hollywood is. All this was just to get control of that baby. And now with her being in jail, they have the baby. That's the fucked up part about it. Because Blueface mom don't know what nothing that's going on right now with that child. Child is in protective custody. It's fucked up how I even did this right now. The Gen Zers, budding cartoonists seem like niece was one of the... So that's another thing, right? We are all using AI. With Google search, yes. But the thing is with AI is that we have no control of how fast it's moving with us. That's one of the biggest things I want to bring awareness. Did you hear the paperwork on Ray J and Whack 100? No, I have not yet. I have to do some looking up on that. But are you talking about like snitch paperwork? Because that one wouldn't surprise me with Ray J as much as it would Whack. Finding paperwork on Whack would be very surprising. Can also frame someone as if they're on camera when it's not them. Yes, that's another thing. So look how real that was just on that trailer, right? They can do that same exact shit with you and I and make us look like we robbing a bank. Have the pictures and everything. Have the video image and everything. I have an AI joint up right now to where I can make Drake look like he's jacking off. So, pause. But anyway, AI is very powerful. AI is extremely powerful right now to where it could be used more so against us than for us. And we have been trying to play God with it and failing at it miserably. Which should remind us that there's probably tens of thousands of our people facing the same or similar fate. Yes. Most definitely. So, what was that movie? what's that movie where you can pretty much get Minority Report? I think it's Minority Report where you can get detained and arrested for your future crimes. And then while Obama was in office, he pretty much implemented that you can get detained for your future fucking crimes. Yeah, I don't think Kanye is with us at all either. I don't think Kanye is with us at all either right now, because I think he's more so cloned than anything. I don't think he's around at all. At the same time, they pretty much still have to kill him off. They have to kill off the real guy now. And when they do, it's going to be a very sad day for most people. Excuse me. Because Kanye is pretty much a martyr. He is a modern day martyr in our time. Because who's just not saying anything while Kanye is walking around with his wife publicly with her tits out? Well, and that's another thing too, right? That was why I shared her being, her having the power of attorney right now. Because with her having the power of attorney, she pretty much can do whatever the fuck she wants. She has pretty much control over everything that Kanye does and says. Over Kanye's own will. So if Kanye wanted to, per se, buy something right now and own a property, guess who has to sign off on it? Bianca has to sign off on it. The other thing to that is life insurance policies. Kanye has a life insurance policy. Okay. Who else signs off on that life insurance policy if he was to say get bedridden right now? If something was to tragically happen to Kanye suddenly to where he can no longer be moved or he's paralyzed or something like that because of the effects of that nitrous oxide gas that he's been huffing. Right. Enemy of the state type shit. Enemy of the state type shit. Said they were the ones in the room with Whitney Houston smoking the crack. Now that I do believe, except for the smoking crack part, but that part I do believe because Wack is always the one that's he's another Corey Gamble to where he's always at the head of the scene recording footage or supposedly has videotape of things. He's always we always hear Wack saying, I got the tape, I got the tape, I got the tape. He's the one always saying that shit. So I definitely believe that him and Ray J would be the last ones to see a Whitney Houston alive. And Jaguar Wright actually talked about that as well, to where she said that Ray J was one of the main people, as well as Clive Davis. I think someone else. He said she said someone else was in the room with them as well. But Ray J was the one that pretty much propped up the body where it was and did all he had to do. And he's pretty much taking that to him to his grave, but it's eating him alive while he's doing it as well. That's why he was ready to jump off the bridge not too long ago as well. He was ready to end his own life because he couldn't even bear what the hell he knows right now. I feel so bad for Kanye because he ain't been right since his mom. No, that's another sad thing I always think about. Even watching that documentary, like, you just see a little boy lost. You just see a little boy completely lost now. Completely lost in the world of Hollywood. Completely lost. And him even saying out publicly, saying, I sold my soul to the devil. I know it was a crappy deal. At least it came with a few toys and a Happy Meal. When he said that out publicly, I said, oh, he's fighting those demons early. because he knows he sacrificed his mom. It's different when you don't even have the remorse of sacrificing a family member, but it's completely different when you know that they had something to do with your mom passing, and it has something to do with you now becoming even more successful. Remember, his mom passed, and then we got My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. Once I saw just the name of the title of that album, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. In other words, my dream has turned into a twisted fucking nightmare in which I did not sign up for. It has been all downhill since. Because he's been doing nothing but whistleblowing since My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. That's why Kanye was pretty much shunned the way he was to the side. It wasn't necessarily the Taylor Swift thing. It was more so because of what he was saying on the album. What he did with the Rising of the Phoenix in the Runaway mini movie he did. When he had Amber Rose lookalike as the Phoenix, and he was pretty much trying to teach the Phoenix how to rise and fly away through the music. That was a very telling scripture right there, in which they did not like him doing that. But then he gets, of course, a pat on the back when he does. Yeah, that Runaway video did it. The Runaway video is what really pissed him off, because he did a Tupac pretty much when he said, let's have a toast for the assholes. Let's have a toast for the scumbags and every one of them that I know. Let's have a toast for the jerk-offs that'll never take work off. When he did all that, maybe I got a plan. Run away fast as you can. He was pretty much telling everybody, yo, don't come to this fucking Hollywood. It's dangerous. Let's have a toast for all the bullshit and all the people here that killed my mama. But goddamn it, run away. Run away fast from this shit. Get away from me. Because you're only going to get killed around me. That's what he pretty much was saying with Runaway. Yeah, he's going for it. He was going for it. And then even when I saw, when we broke down a little bit of the Power video, no one man should have all this power. I was like, oh, he really is mad. He's upset. And just hearing just the certain lyrics on the even the intro with Raekwon, I'm like, yo, dog he's lost it. He's completely lost it. And that can only happen from a person losing their mother. That can only happen from a person like Kanye losing their mother. That was their everything right there. Their everything. Like, that was all he knew was her. Heavy symbolism in the Runaway video. Heavy symbolism. But if you notice, Kanye pretty much wasn't green anymore, and a lot of his videos after that became very symbolic, or had a lot of symbolism in it. It wasn't just I'm trying to be comedic, funny Kanye and make a rap video Kanye. It was I gotta let y'all niggas know what the hell's going on in this industry, Kanye. Yeah, that whole movie, the whole Runaway mini movie, that's like, I think 30 minutes long or 45 minutes long. That whole thing right there with the Rising of the Phoenix, that whole, they didn't like that. They did not like him doing that at all. And like I said, he had been black, but now they tried to, if you notice, they tried to reel Kanye back in with who? Jay-Z. They tried to reel him back in with Watch the Throne. But he didn't necessarily even comply there. Because think about how many videos we were supposedly promised for Watch the Throne. How many records were on Watch the Throne that never got their actual video besides Paris? And Paris was a fucking accident. Paris, they just say, yo, we're just going to put a bunch of footage of us performing together. Notice that there really wasn't any music videos for that fucking album. Well, that was because Kanye once again started to be Kanye and was not compliant with the shit. He was not compliant with what was going on anymore. And then you saw him diss Jay. Please don't kill me, Jay. I know you got shooters. I know you got shooters. I know you got people that can get rid of me. You had that whole thing happening. Kanye, like I said, has been getting ready for, they've been readying Kanye for death for quite some time. And Kanye knows that. That's why he's been on. If you notice, Kanye doesn't have, when's the last time you heard Kanye say he has a house? When's the last time the last time Kanye had a crib? He was living with Kim Kardashian. Ever since then, he been living in warehouses and apartments, in hotels, and Mercedes-Benz arenas. That's about it. He's been sleeping in the back of Mercedes-Benz arenas. Now, why would he sleep in the Mercedes-Benz arena? Because he has access to the security. No, don't say that. No, see, night. I love you for saying that. But see, when I said that, I got scolded for it. I got scolded for it. So I know what you're talking about. But when I said that he was going to do that, I got scolded for it. So we're just going to let him do it. And then I'm going to backtrack to when I was stargazing. I'll go back to that. I'll go back to that. But yes, Kendrick's next album is going to be going at the whole industry. Drake was the tip of the iceberg. Kendrick now has the freedom with PG Lang to say whatever the hell he wants. And he has the power to. Which is going to be cool because, excuse me, we get to hear now. If you remember the Heart Part 4, where he was doing so many deep fakes like Kanye, Bill Cosby, Kobe Bryant, things like that. I think, yes, he's going to do another Machiavelli 2.0 Illuminati album. Yes, he's going to pretty much destroy the entire industry, in which he is going to whistleblow a lot of shit. We might even hear him talk about the reptilians, damn it. He might talk about humanoids and AI. He's going to see the thing with what I love about Kendrick and his albums is that he takes culture and he pretty much puts a mirror on the culture in lyrical form. That's what I love about him. He always gives us everything that is going on in the culture, but he gives it to us in an aggressive form, that harsh truth form. That's what I will always respect about Kendrick Lamar and his music. Even with Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. With that record, with the fuck you, bitch, fuck you, this, fuck you. That was a real thing because that's a real relationship argument that happens, especially in the minority community. That is a regular type of argument that happens all the time. It's one of those things that showed the human side once again of you, and also put transparency to the Kendrick Lamar as far as he's a real man dealing with real relationship problems, just like all the rest of us. The album is called Not Like Us. None of the songs from the battle part of it, except Not Like Us. When you go to his YouTube page, you can see it. Well, that's another thing. So the album is pretty much being teased. It's not actually out yet. It's being pretty much put together, but it's not actually out yet. But what I want to see from this Kendrick Lamar album is him go the lengths of, yes, him talking to Jay-Z, but more so him going the lengths of actually talking to the government a little bit. Because we're talking to someone that also came in the game with a record for Throw Your Hands Up for High Power. We're talking about that Kendrick Lamar at the end of the day, too. Especially in the redneck communities. But Kendrick is one of those people that are, like I said, made the song High Power and is not afraid to put on his Black Panther uniform, if you know what I mean. He definitely is one that is not scared to ride out when it comes to the government. So, speaking of not scared to ride out, I guess it's time we revisit a chapter of things and pretty much put the pretty much put all the bullet points together, right? So Black Sam, Nipsey Hussle's brother, did an interview with Big Boy TV, right? And I'm going to play some of it here because there were some key things that he said in there that we all should pay attention to a little bit. Especially when it was in regard to the gentleman Big U.
Me and my brother, we used to.
About right here is where things got a little bit tricky.
You pull up to the shop, call us. He like, bro, I'm not calling you niggas when I pull up. I'm not calling you niggas when I pull up. And we like arguing and just, you know, but turned into, you know, a little bit of, you know, it's hindsight, man. Just, you never understand.
Man, I think as a partner, as someone from the outside looking in, right? I remember just what that day felt like when Nip passed. My mom passed on March 31st as well, right? So literally, I went to my mom's grave and I was doing a comedy show, probably like the night or two before. And I wanted Nip to record me a drop, like, oh, go see Big Boy's comedy show. He didn't get around to it. So literally on the way home, I was like, man, when I get home, I'm gonna call him like, oh, it was successful and, you know, and do what we usually do, bro. And when I got to the house, I remember my man Fuzzy, he had hit me up and he said, man, I'm over here by Marathon. He said, something's going on over here. He said, they got it blocked off. And I was like, man, I said, he said, I'm gonna try to get closer. And when he called me back, he said, man, they're saying something happened with Nip. What was that day like for you, bro? And did you feel any premonitions before we lost Nip?
100%, man. I think, man, we just, it's my cousin's birthday, so the night, I want to say the night before, Nip took us to Wally's, Beverly Hills, me, Pops, and Adam, my cousin Adam, and just had a long talk with bro, you know, not to get into too much detail, but there was a lot of big politics getting into it with certain people. You know, Hustle had DJ Khaled in the hood. Not to be speaking too much on shit, but we came frontline like we always do. And, you know, niggas gonna know we gonna crash out behind it. We not playing, ain't nobody.
Now, see, right here is where I really started to pay attention because I didn't know that there was a discrepancy that day. I did not know that there was an actual discrepancy that day. I think I had heard something about it, but I didn't know it was to that particular extent to where Nipsey had to call in reinforcements almost. And when I say that, it's because of the fact that it seemed like, and we're going to get into it a little bit later on, but it seemed like from what Black Sam was saying, there might have been some type of extortion and Big U was trying to collect and Nip wasn't having it because of his opportunity that was given to him. That's what I'm getting from what Black Sam is saying.
Saying nothing to Khaled, ain't nobody doing nothing to Khaled, and he's straight, and Hustle frontline that. And, you know, we felt like certain people didn't like that. And did the video, Khaled got out of there perfect and smooth, and, you know, we appreciated Khaled for showing up and coming to the hood and doing the video, and, you know, we knew that this was gonna be one of them videos, man. Hustle brought DJ Khaled to the hood, and you know, had John Legend in the other scene. So we at Wally's, and we just chopping it up about a lot of shit, man. Just, you know, making sure that we on point in security, and when we pull up, it's, you know, we like, Hustle, when you pull up to the shop, call us. He like, bro, I'm not calling you niggas when I pull up. I'm not calling you niggas when I pull up. And we like arguing and just, you know, but turned into, you know, a little bit of that, and then back to the, you know, celebrating bro Adam's birthday and.
So, like I said, it sounds like, yeah, ironically, right, Diddy's boy Khaled, right, is one of the key reasons that Nip gets killed, right? So how this actually plays out is, they said Diddy was there with Clive. That's very possible as well. It's very possible as well that he was there at the video shoot. And this is where things got, things started to be a little bit more clear as far as to why Nipsey was killed and how. So with DJ Khaled being, the opportunity for Nipsey Hussle to elevate in the music industry now, he signed a deal with Roc Nation in 2018. He's also signed a partnership deal with Atlantic Records with All Money In. Okay, so DJ Khaled is now presented to him as far as doing a favor as far as elevating his career. You know how it is when you get a DJ Khaled record, it's pretty much like an alley-oop to things, right? So Nipsey takes that upon himself to bring DJ Khaled to the hood to shoot the video, of course, to show the unity. Here's the real thing that caused the issue. Besides the extortion fact, Nipsey showing that there was unity within the neighborhood this early before Kendrick Lamar was not liked by the LAPD. Him trying to show and display unity in a music video would not be very good on behalf of the LAPD, who was trying to maintain and control the gangs themselves by keeping them and having them in, an uproar back and forth so they can keep the quotas going and the arrests going and the jail count going, right? Which we will also get into who was at the head of that later on as well.
So got us the back room and, family there. Chopping it, and just us four, and we stayed there forever, man. And when he walked out, we all walked out the back room of Wally's. I think Rivera, one of the guys that filmed the video, just happened to be there, and so he see us walking out. He's like, "Oh, Hustle, what's up?" And he like, "Man, what's going on?" He's like, "Bro, they just sent me the first edit of the video," and so he pulled it up and. He like, "Man, look at this, bro. You look amazing, bro. You about to do movies after this. Look at this shot." And so Hustle seen it, and Hustle was smiling. Hustle was happy. He seen the shots of the video. He's like, "Man," he's telling him like, "Bro, ain't no more small time shit, man. After this, nigga, your shit going out the roof." And so, we was all happy and shook hands with them, and then we left. And that was the last interaction, bro.
And that was the night before?
The night before, Saturday.
And so Sunday,
Thank you, Emil. Thank you, Emil Mendez. He couldn't put the LA squeeze on Khaled. And Nip wasn't having it. Nip said, no, this is going to go down with legit business. You are not going to get away with the LA squeeze. You're not going to get away with this extortion. This is going to be a regular business transaction. He's going to do what he got to do and get the fuck up out of here safely. You're not here to extort nobody the way you and Wack have been doing all these years, allegedly.
That morning like for you, Sam?
Sunday, it's regular Sunday, man. I think we had spots in the hood. So one of the spots we had a little weed spots. It's a 24-hour spot, and I think it was my boy. Who usually do one of the shifts. I had to cover one of the shifts. And so I think I was in it all night. And the morning shift came in and I ended up leaving.
Bingo, Fury B. Kendrick had to do it in a live show because it wasn't planned. He had to do it in a way where it wasn't planned, so that the powers that be could not do anything to him. Plus, he's a very protected resident there. Unlike, pretty much he didn't have the same protection that Nipsey, pretty much he has a bigger protection than what Nipsey had at the time. Kendrick is very safe, in other words. He can get away with doing something like that, especially at a live event. But Nipsey was definitely not supposed to do that in a music video at the time where Grid, which we will get into also, Grid and the LAPD wanted the Bloods and Crips to still be pretty much at war.
And so my goal was to go to the house and sleep a couple hours and then go back to the shop and close the shop up for the rest of the night. So I'm at Granny's house, sleep on the floor, and this phone just going crazy, man. It woke me up, and I picked the phone up, and you know, forget who called me, man. I just hear people screaming in the background, and they like, man, you know, bro got shot. So I just immediately just run out the house and just jet out the door. My grandma was in the living room watching TV, so she seen me run out, didn't close the door, just got in the car. Grandma's on 5th in Slauson, so the shop is maybe like 6 blocks away. So I just ran every light, every stop sign, and get there, and man, it's just going crazy, man. You know, everybody screaming, and I just see bro, and I'm just, you know, it's fucked up, but bro still breathing. I think Kev Mack was like talking to him and trying to tell him, you know, breathe, stay with, just breathe, bro. So I'm looking, trying to, you know, we need to figure this shit out. So somebody had the, I think, ambulance on the phone, and everybody screaming. I was just like, man, shut the fuck up, man.
Now, this is the part that actually bothers me a little bit. Not necessarily hearing Black Sam talk about it, but I had to point out the one contradiction in where he says Nip was still breathing. Nip was dead. Rizza Islam confirmed it already. 2 to the body, 1 to the head. Nip was dead. Nip was not alive when Sam got there. So that's a contradiction right there that I had to pay attention to. Nip was not alive when Sam got there. And Sam would have said this beforehand too. Nip was already passed by the time Sam got there.
It's like you know, take the phone and I'm trying to talk to the ambulance. They say they coming and they telling me, you know, I'm asking them like what do we need to be doing? And so they telling me to try to administer CPR on bro and asking me, is he breathing? I'm like, yeah, he's still breathing, you know. And just try to do the best that we could. And finally, you know, police came and ambulance came, and they took him. And so I'm just praying, you know, I had faith that bro was gonna be all right, and you know, then I had a lot of people shot in that parking lot, and I done drove multiple people to the hospital, and you know, I'm like, man, if anybody make it, bro gonna make it for sure. And that was the ride to the hospital, man. Just praying, and you know, I was confident bro was gonna be good, man. And just couldn't understand it, man. Just like the Twilight Zone after that. Everything I believed in, or my faith in, shattered. But
did you get word like right then? Did you follow?
Yeah, followed the ambulance, and they got out, and so I was trying to go to the doctors and ambulance. I think J-Rock. Then one of the ambulance told J-Rock something, and he came to me. I'm like, no, I'm not trying to hear that, man. I'm trying to figure it out and go talk to them, and then go to the doctors. And then my mom and family was there, and then everybody screaming, and just walked out. fucked up. But
When you walked out, you knew then?
yeah. Yep. Yep. You know, still can't understand it, honestly. Just it's Twilight Zone, man. Don't understand. Shook my whole belief in whatever I believed in, and you know.
Man, that's one of those, it's wild too, because we thought we had it like rough that day. But when we started hearing calls or we started piecing things together, man, and the first thing I thought, you know, you started thinking about family. You know, of course you pop up, then I'm hearing certain things and I was like, man, was Jay there? Because I do.
Pay attention to what Black Sam says here. This is very key. Black Sam's interview is strategic. He's battling the guilty people to speak. Yes, definitely. He's going to say something very key here that does exactly that, Emil.
We had heard it was a couple people, and I was like, when I called Jay, when he didn't answer, I immediately put him there too.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I would always see them together, you know, and it's crazy because we never had a chance to talk, but I didn't know that y'all had that much conversation even the night before.
Yep.
About, man, you know, we got to move a little different. You know, we gotta make sure that security's on set, and you know, bro doing his regular routine.
Yep.
You know, like at home. You know, with that, bro, it's like, not what is the first thing that you do, man, but where's headspace, man? Because it's hard to just not, you know, either throw it all away or give it all up.
Right.
You know, because we got Nip as friend, music, whatever it may be. You know, y'all sharing bedrooms, that's like me and my bro.
Right.
You know, at some point, do you feel like any of this is worth it, or were you ready to throw it all away?
Oh, no, man. 100%, like, crash out, broad daylight, whoever. And, you know, we start figuring out who the streets was saying it was, and, you know, that's what the whole unit was like. Where's this nigga at? And, you know, that was the mind space at that point.
Yeah.
Aside from just dealing with, you know, the reality, you know, but it was just go time, man. And, you know, they're gonna make sure the kids is good, make sure his kids is good, and make sure we keep going.
Is it as random as what the public thought it was? Like, Nip seen somebody, Eric, and talked, and...
I mean, you know, he already got convicted, so for me, without going into too many details, somebody come to the shop. They know we in the doorway. When Hustle pull up, we in the doorway. You're gonna see me with a hoodie on, and I got a pistol on me. You're gonna see one of the team members in the hoodie in the doorway with a pistol. That's protocol when Hustle pull up. So it's Sunday. It's busy in there. Why the niggas in there didn't follow the protocol? I wasn't there. Why they didn't follow it? Maybe they was fucking around helping the customer, doing some fucking customer service. This is what I'm thinking, trying to, you know, transition into some legitimate, just selling clothes. But nobody was in the doorway. And from my understanding, old boy walked up with no shirt on first to check the scene, because he know what's going on in that parking lot. And had a conversation, probably seen nobody was in the doorways, checked Hustle had on shorts, checked everybody else, left. They say came back with a red shirt on, tiptoed through the alley, and went right and started shooting. So to me, that's premeditated. Number one, there's no red shirts in the hood. You can't buy no red shirt. No liquor store sell no red shirt. Number two, when a nigga come through the alley with a red shirt, that's the throw off, or the Bloods did it, or the Inglewood families did it, or the BPS. That's the throw off, red shirt. So for me, he felt he was supposed to do a job, or somebody sent him or whatever, and he was nervous. He was supposed to hit that alley with that red shirt immediately, but he didn't do that. He came in and he wanted to check the scene. He wanted to make sure he wasn't getting into a shootout. And that's my thoughts on it. You understand? So, and can't nobody tell me nothing about that because it just don't make no sense. It's not random, you know. I know hustle. You know, ain't nobody gonna say nothing crazy to hustle.
And immediately when he said all this, I couldn't help but think back to when Loose Cannon was going off about Big U. Trying to see if I have the right one here. This one here should be the one where he has the actual, should I say, trying to find the one where he took. I think it's this one here.
He provides tools, and he say, "Yo, I'm gonna let you work here, and we gonna."
There's this clip here is where Cannon talks about Big U being the last person to talk to Nip.
Dude, and Meek and Rick have no idea that Draw sent you.
Later, he called me. He was like, "Oh, nephew, where you at?" And I'm like, "Nigga, where my money at?" And he was like, "Oh, I needed it for bills. I needed."
Trying to find it.
What's up? He was like, "Oh, what's up with it?"
Here it is.
Back, right? And I'm on a phone. He FaceTime me. So he FaceTime me and stuff like that. He was like, "Nipsey just got killed." I'm like, sick. So I didn't hear that. So I hang up with him. I called Nipsey, and I'm like, "Nipsey, what's up?" He was like, "Oh, what's up with it?"
Nipsey answered.
Nipsey answered. He answered the phone. And I was like, "I love you, cuz," or whatever like that.
Did you tell him to call you?
So here's another thing. That's why I had to go back to this. What's up, Tamiko Show? What it do? I had to go back to this interview because it immediately let me know that the only reason Nip walked outside was because he was on the phone with Big U. He was on the phone with Big U, and Big U got him to go outside. Big U was the only person to even know that he was standing in front of the store, how long he'd be there, and for what. Which would give enough time for the assassin to run up on Nipsey. Now, noticing that, okay, that Big U was the main person, or should I say the last person to talk to Nipsey, I immediately started thinking to myself, okay, something is very fishy here if Big U is in play. Because if Big U is in play, there has to be someone else that was funding Big U to remove Nipsey. That was the main thing that went through my mind. Someone is funding this, literally. But listen to this here.
Was the Blue Suge Knight involved in Nipsey Hussle's murder? No, I'm not talking about 600. He's a sweetie pie.
Listen to all this here.
Nobody before us. Now, Big U may act like a sweetheart. He's been a nightmare in LA for more than a decade now. Well, after this Black Sam Big Boy interview, it's looking real spooky on 600 divided by 10. Now, let's be real. You only seen Big U with Nipsey a handful of times throughout his whole career. But according to Big U, he made Nipsey's career.
Well, I ain't killed Nipsey and had nothing to do with it because I wouldn't have benefited from Nipsey. I didn't have no business with Nipsey. Nipsey ain't signed to me, wasn't signed to me.
I remember when he said this shit, and I said, nigga, you literally have always said that he was signed to you. Majority of the artists, especially that come from that neighborhood, have some type of contract with you and or Wack. So I knew right then and there when he said this, he was lying.
I don't make no money off the Crenshaw shirts. I don't make nothing off nothing. I create my own. I do my own. And I created
In this
Nipsey.
next clip, Big U says when he first met him, Nipsey was recording on his own and already selling music on his own.
He really had a mic in his closet and was recording his own self. Remember that. He did what no other rappers do today. He sold his own music. He sold his own music.
And remember, IRL Debo just said, I didn't kill Nipsey. He wasn't signed to me. I have no money to make with him or from him.
Well, I ain't killed Nipsey and had nothing to do with it because I wouldn't have benefited from Nipsey. I didn't have no business with Nipsey. Nipsey ain't signed to me, wasn't signed to
in
me.
these next two clips, he breaks down the contract he has with Nipsey, and they were both different from each other.
Me first.
What were the terms of the Sony deal?
The Sony deal was we signed straight to Sony. Cinematic Music Group got 20%, 30% everything. I got 15.
That was in 2009. So he's talking about the 2009 deal with Cinematic Music Group. Shout out Johnny Shipes. Cinematic Music Group helped him, Wiz Khalifa. Who else at the time? It was him, Wiz Khalifa, Big Crit, and Smoke DZA. There's a few people around that time. Okay, Nip was one of the main people that signed to Sony.
Percent everything, and
the deal fall apart.
It never fell apart. The deal never fell apart. It was a 7-year deal. It was a 7-year deal. It was 5 albums, 7 years. We signed, and I had publishing starting in 2009, all the way for 7 years. 2009, that would put us in 2016.
Well, it had to fall apart, or he wouldn't have been able to sign with Atlanta.
No, Sony just let it go.
So Big U just said he had a 7-year deal, 15% of everything. He must have got amnesia or something.
My point exactly. Because how the fuck do you go from all of a sudden saying you had no business with him, you would have not benefited off of him, but then there are literal... See, this is why I love YouTube and the videos that are out there. Because people get on these fucking cameras and forget the shit that they say and do. So I love when things are documented, okay? Literally, there are clips out there. And unfortunately, there are clips where he can't even get the fucking number right of how many years he was in the contract. But there are quite a few clips out there of Big U saying that he had him. We're going to get into that, Juju. We're going to get into that right there. Where he literally says that he had Nipsey under contract. So that was lie number 2. That you didn't have lie number 1. That you didn't have Nipsey under contract. You very much had Nipsey under contract. And you very much ate off of what he was doing.
He went in a time machine and redid the contract. Because this next clip, check it out.
I signed him to it. It was signed to a 10-year production contract, which started in 2009, which would end 2019.
Crazy.
Hello. But I ain't tripping off of that because, it is what it is. But I do have that. You know what I mean? So,
wait, so your deal with Nipsey was 10 years?
It was 10 years.
It was a 10
years, 25% of publishing.
What happened to 7 years, 5 albums? You see how that number changed again? What happened to 7 years, 5 albums? Because now we talking about you got a 10-year deal and it was in 2009. That means you're actually still eating off of Nipsey, doesn't it? In 2019 when he passes, right? That means you still collecting money off of him when Victory Lap drops and goes platinum, right?
To Aramis Astrodome.
Oh, wow. So 09 to 2019.
09 to 2019.
So technically, Victory Lap.
Hello.
Okay. Wow.
Wow.
Wow. Big U, not the little one. See, I didn't believe none of the rumors at first, but with all this nastiness, Big U, I just don't know anymore. On 3 times 20, I ain't rolling with this. I'm not gonna lie, I found so many inconsistencies. We could be here all day. Like how you didn't go to the funeral for Nipsey, but you held a united gang walk for Nipsey. It wasn't even somebody from a different hood that killed Nipsey. It was somebody from the 60s. You should have did a 60s walk and united the hood instead. But let's get to some of the key points Black Sam pointed out. Like before Nipsey died, you was not selling them Crenshaw shirts. As a matter of fact, these were your designs. Looks like a knockoff Adidas, knockoff Bape. Oh no, and this is nasty times 60 right here. The combo, the knockoff Adidas, Bape, and Louis Vuitton all in one pick. Yeah, the clothing thing, Big U, just give it up. You saw Nipsey do it, but you not Nipsey.
So you even tried to copy Nipsey's blueprint with the Marathon clothing. You even tried to copy his style of. You said it right earlier, yo. They was super jealous of him. Excuse me, super jealous of him and what he was doing. Everyone was jealous of what he was doing and the way he was going about it, because he was moving faster and hustling faster than everyone. But for you to take his actual Marathon clothing design style is absolutely disgusting. Because that later confirms one of the benefits that you say you wouldn't have had. That further confirms one of the benefits you would have had with him being gone. Because now you can put Crenshaw on shit and make it look like it's fucking Marathon clothing. But if there's no logo of the Marathon, it's not really Marathon. But to the average person that's not in LA or hip to the culture, you can still get that off now, Big U, can't you?
I think this was a shot at Big U too, though. Check out what Black Sam had to say.
And one of the things was, you know, while the sweater and the crew necks is getting famous, everybody start bootlegging. The Tag A Marathon, the Crenshaw crew neck is a knockoff, and that was genius. And so now people are like, yeah, that's if it ain't got the Marathon on it, it ain't the real one. Yep.
Black Sam mentioned that he thought this was a hit also. Why? Because at first he came with his shirt off, checking out the spot, and he was looking real nervous. Then he came back around in a red shirt, started shooting, and took off. He said this was premeditated.
He was supposed to do a job, or somebody sent him or whatever, and he was nervous. He was supposed to hit that alley with that red shirt immediately, but he didn't do that. He came in and he wanted to check the scene. He wanted to make sure he wasn't getting into a shootout.
I also think this was aimed at Big U, because in interviews, Big U has been telling everybody that they grew up with each other, they're friends, and they started beefing. And this was the reason why he killed Nipsey.
Then it was a conspiracy. What is a conspiracy? Yeah, they clearly had a conversation. They clearly was beefing. They clearly grew up together. And it's I never seen before. I never met him.
Okay.
People say something to me about Wack, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why you don't sitting in the Wack? Well, Wack told his truth. But I can ask his family, why y'all ain't told the people that I ain't had nothing to do with this? When y'all know it. You want me to say something?
Notice how when he's asked about that, and even when he gets mentioned and gets to the Wack part, every time he's asked about Wack 100, he does a Freemason and pretty much flips the script and tries to change the subject on it. Because him and Wack are both doing the same exact thing with the LAPD. Not necessarily the snitching part as much as being just the informant and helping the Hollywood entertainment industry do what it does. They are one of the underground kings of what the whole ring is about. So think about, like I said, the extortion part, right? And the fact that Khaled coming there, on top of showing the unity, Khaled coming there and not going by the rules of the extortion, went against code. Went against everything. So, Big U, rewind please. Yeah, we can do that too. But Big U pretty much was, whether people realized it or not, was also working with LAPD to remove Nipsey Hussle.
But how about y'all say something? How about Lauren London, his brother, his mother, and all of them say, y'all know this man had nothing to do with it. But you want to say me being quiet on something is me agreeing with it. Well, how about y'all being quiet? Don't that work the same way?
Wow.
When, I mean, be honest with you, why isn't it that they saying nothing? You want this to go like this. When clearly, he wasn't my friend. I didn't grow up with him. He's 25 years old. He's younger than my middle son. They was all friends. They all grew up together.
Mm-hmm.
They had a conversation. You know what I mean? Ain't nobody going to go do nothing. You're going to have a conversation with somebody. They clearly got the conversation. So why are they let go like that? But you want me to say something to somebody.
And you still haven't had a chance to talk to the family or anything?
I'm not even trying to talk to the family, bro.
Well, Black Sam said this is not the case. He was never around. He was not good in the hood. And they were never friends like that.
From the 30s to the 100s, and when Hustle throw something in that parking lot, you coming. From whatever it is. You in the hood, you smoking weed, you coming to our spots. He was never at any functions. He was never at any grand openings. He was never at anything Hustle was doing. He was never at any shows. It's because he wasn't good in the hood. So all this other is talking about, I don't know it. He wasn't good, you know. He wasn't good, and he was not good, and he was not around for a reason, you know. And to that point, we didn't see him.
And I think this last thing solidified it right here. Check out Big U showing off a text message between him and Nip before he died, and he's asking about Khaled.
This the last conversation.
So even more proof right there that Big U is the last person to talk to Nipsey. On top of more proof that Big U is the one that helped set up Nipsey that day, because he was the main one to talk to Nipsey and had an agenda, a reason why to talk to him. And yes, very much so, him not being full bred had a lot to do with it, because it's seen as him being an immigrant coming over here, just taking over and pretty much having his own property, as well as having his own fame in our territory. So, on top of how he actually looks, you see how they already talk about the Al Qaeda bullshit? On top of how he actually looks. Writes down the serial numbers. Yeah, that's actually from the same interview, Emil, where Loose Cannon was talking about he was the last person to talk to Nipsey. That same interview at No Jumper, he talked about how Big U would scratch off the serial numbers of the guns. But like I said, there's so many things that point to Big U working with police informants. It's fucking unreal.
Me and Nip had. You got to get in close. You see the date on there? See what that say? Tuesday, March 28th. This me and him talking. This me talking about DJ Khaled. I told him DJ Khaled had gave me his number, right? And I said I need to talk to Khaled. So Nip said at the video, did you talk to him? You see what he said? I ain't gotta read it. He said, did you talk to him? But I was doing an interview too, and I said, yeah. And I sent him a call, cuz back after the meeting. Nip said, off top.
See, that already right there will be asked. Why did you have to talk to Khaled? Khaled wasn't there for you. Khaled was there for Nipsey. He wasn't there for Big U.
Let me know once he balances it.
Now, during the interview with Black Sam, he said during the video shoot, they were trying to give him trouble. There was a lot of politics involved.
You know, not to get into too much detail, but there was a lot of big politics getting into with certain people. You know, Hustle had DJ Khaled in the hood. Not to be speaking too much on, but we came frontline like we always do. And, you know, we gonna crash out behind it. We not playing. Ain't nobody saying nothing to Khaled. Ain't nobody doing nothing to Khaled. And he's straight. And Hustle frontline that. And, you know, we felt like certain people didn't like that.
Now, if you ask me, 100% this whole interview was aimed at Big U, and that's on 15 times 2. Now, after this interview, a lot of the stuff that Wack's been saying and Loose Cannon is looking more truthful now, right? Hey, some of you guys might owe the exposers an apology, but check out how Wack and Loose break this all down. Hey, remember, Wack, Big U, and Loose Cannon used to be close. They used to have gang sleepovers. Pause. Oh, and that DJ Khaled thing? Allegedly, Big U sent Loose Cannon that DJ Khaled. And after this clip, I'm gonna post Big U's response.
Seen
Check
what
it
Big
out.
U, y'all seen what Black Sam alluded to?
What happened, Ghost?
Basically, in that interview,
Thank you.
if you can pay attention and understanding what he's saying, he basically saying before Nip died, Big U and Nip had an issue about Nip bringing DJ Khaled to their neighborhood.
They definitely did. And Big U had him ran up out of there.
Now you see what I'm saying?
He sent the team over there. That's a fact.
Now see, that dispels all this Big U been saying all this time.
Bro,
me and nephew ain't had no problem. Me and nephew was cool. That's a lie.
What I've been telling you, bro.
You been saying that, shit, bro.
Bro, you
been
gotta
saying
remember.
that.
Ghost, listen to me. This is how this works. I want you to really think.
One of the big connections that Big U has with Jay-Z is the NFL partnership. Big U is in heavy talks with Jay-Z as far as the NFL partnership goes. Big U was one of the main people that tweeted out when Jay-Z first got the deal with NFL. On top of Big U has been seen with Jay quite a few times. And he does other business ventures with him the same way Wack does business ventures with Diddy. It's yin and yang, pretty much. But Big U does a lot of business with Jay and helps him a lot.
About 2 different mountains. 2 different motherfucking gangs, right? But you got 2 who got the say-so of each of their gang, right? And then you got a problem on his mountain, but everybody watching.
Full-blooded American icon. That would be full-blooded American. Nipsey was not full-blooded American. So it was sort of seen as a shun for him to be over here and owning his own property.
Him. But he has safe passage to go to from the Blue Mountain to the Red Mountain and have a conversation. Who you think know everything?
Right.
You know everything, bro.
Bro, you got to watch that interview, bro. Like I'm telling you, in the next few hours between today and tomorrow, we're gonna be on that Big U.
We was finna run it, Ghost. You already know. You already know what I was doing.
Listen to me, Ghost. I know everything.
Hey, Wack, you know, this who pay attention is really gonna dissect that interview.
Not necessarily snitching on each other as much as Wack has always been trying to get rid of Big U. That's why Wack has been playing sides like that. Wack has always been trying to remove Big U so he can be the main guy. He can be the main one getting all the checks. Right now, they shared the checks as informants. So Wack is trying to remove him.
And see what Sam is saying, bro. Sam is really alluding to that the boy Eric Holder was sent. He kind of alluding to like Big U them might have sent that nigga,
Eric
bro.
Holder is a little, bro. You don't remember when I said the only way a mental patient could walk into a mental facility and get checked in is he was already a previous.
Yes, he was already there. Yep.
You remember I used to tell everybody that.
And see, that's just further confirmation of what I had said before, because I already knew when this happened that Eric Holder was. So the government, the CIA has always been doing this program to where they pretty much take inmates and people from the psych ward and they pretty much release them into society to carry out dummy missions. So that was one of the things that popped out to me when, you know, that information was out there about Eric Holder and him being someone that was, you know, a little bit off. I was like, okay, this is one of the people that they sent out on the fucking dummy mission, because numerous people said that they never even seen him before. Just think about that key thing there. Numerous people said they never even fucking seen him before, and that there was a made up story of him being someone that they grew up with. Sam said, I never seen this motherfucker before. That was all the confirmation I needed to know of I grew up with him. Sam saying I never seen this motherfucker before mean no one's seen this motherfucker before. Meaning you didn't grow up with Nipsey. Yes, they are very much boule. This is why Big U and Wack 100 both have been investigated yet, because both them are on the payroll. Yes, pretty much so. Pretty much so. Big U, Jay-Z, NFL, welcome to the Clown Central. Yeah. Yeah. BC, because Nipsey, why would Jay-Z need help from Big U for anything? He's way more powerful than he is. Well, if I were trying to remove someone for the benefit of my own, but I didn't necessarily want you to know I did it, I go through someone else that is close to you to remove you. That would answer that question right there of why would Jay-Z need Big U? He seems active dope fiend. Let me see. Yeah. Yeah, it's a couple people that Big U actually was allegedly involved in removing.
You know what I'm saying? I thought he was gonna use that as part of his defense. Because he already is a mental patient. He diagnosed already. Did Black Sam?
Which that part always confuses me. When I hear Cowboy, whenever I hear Cowboy, period, his interviews very much confuse me as far as he's supposedly Nipsey Hussle's best friend. But Black Sam is saying that he never seen the motherfucker before, but Cowboy is saying he did. That part is very confusing to me. Because then I have to ask myself, who the hell is Cowboy like that? Compared to Black Sam. See how things get very tricky?
Talk about the time Big U came down there and fired the gun, and he tried to fire the gun in the air. What did he tell? Did he tell the story on how he went from assaulting to standing with the police as a motherfucking grid worker and pointing the finger at people? Oh,
he didn't.
That one yet.
He didn't really get into that. You know, it was with Big Boy. So what he really wanted to focus on was like it was kind of like he was trying to dispel everything that Big U been saying without saying Big U name, because he made sure to say basically like he told the story of the night before Nip died, which was a Saturday. It was Adam's birthday, and they was in some Wally's. They was in some restaurant called Wally's or whatever, right? And they was talking about how it was a lot of political issues and niggas was mad that Nip bought DJ Khaled to the neighborhood and shit.
No, Big U was mad.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
But
you see what I mean? Because like, I never even heard of Cowboy until Nipsey passed. I knew of all the other people that were around Nipsey, but I never even heard of Cowboy. I might have seen him in videos even. He was in video. He was in the video with DJ Khaled. Let's not get that twisted. He was in a video or two with Nipsey, but I never heard of him like that until Nip passed. So all I see is him doing these paid interviews about Nipsey Hussle, and I'm like, nigga, who are you? Who are you really to Nip?
You name, but that's what he was saying.
But what is he mad about,
That's
though?
what he meant.
Oh no, listen. He sent a team over there on him about it. Press that man. This is why when I seen DJ Khaled taking pictures with Big U, I knew what that was. That was the old LA shuffle, the old LA squeeze. But he definitely had a...
What did you say, Emil, earlier? When he took the picture with him. That's when he was going for the LA squeeze.
That's when he was going for the extortion. This is what one of the key things this was about.
Problem with it because the move didn't go through him. He's saying, nigga, Nipsey, you can't bring nobody over here without clearing it through me. Nipsey said, nigga, who is you? You got to remember, Nipsey did a whole diss song on Big U. You heard the song before, right?
Facts, I heard that shit.
Whack, but wasn't Black Sam and Big U already into it?
No, Black Sam was into it because of what he did to his brother.
Okay.
Did he talk about Fats? You know, it's a little nigga named Fats, about 5'6", little fat nigga, about 260.
Both the Fats, the nigga that died?
Hold on. You know what happened to him about a week before he died, right?
I heard something about some weed shit.
No. Fats put Big U on his pockets.
Damn.
Big U tried to take off on Nip, and Fats took off on Big U and set him on his pockets. In front of everybody.
So pretty much there is where now it's a huge beef because Fats is defending Nipsey Hussle. He gets into the squabble with Big U. He taps Big U's pockets. Now Big U doesn't look so big anymore. He looks like a little homie. Big U didn't like that. Did not like that. No, there wasn't. This was always a business arrangement between Big U and Nipsey. They never were actually cool.
A week later, Fats was out of here. Think somebody might have shot him. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, the internet finna be in an uproar about this shit, bro.
Well, they definitely was not. Bro, he bringing me the shit trying to counterplot on the nigga.
Okay, so we pretty much have the main meat and potatoes right there, right? To where we know Big U is now the one plotting against him. But how is he doing this? How is Big U doing this, right? So then I stumble upon things like, this.
Have y'all heard of GRYD? GRYD. It stands for Gang Reduction and Youth Development. I'm about to show you some documents and I'm about to show you contracts and I'm about to show you these contracts is dealing with Big U. His real name is Eugene Henley. They're dealing with developing options. And you're about to see what's going on. You're about to see why Big U is arrogant. Why he keep his chest pumped up. Him and Wack. And Wack know everything I'm about to say, everything I'm about to show you. Wack know. He know. See, he backed up by every major city official in LA. Yes. Put it out there. Argument. Right here. This a GRYD book. And these is documents from Big U's contract with his organization Developing Options. It's the Gang Reduction and Youth Development Contract. He is number C-126488. Wow.
Do we really need much more? We might as well. But if this doesn't tell you what you need to know about how Big U was able to get himself funded to remove Nipsey Hussle, I don't know what else will.
In LA. Yes. Put it out there. Argument. Right here. This a GRYD book. And these is documents from Big U's contract with his organization Developing Options. It's the Gang Reduction and Youth Development Contract. He is number C-126488. That's what it is. That's exactly what it is. And then you see, this is just, I didn't put everything in there. There's like 200-300 pages. These are some of the, table of content team. The contract number is on there again, C-126 Tractor. Big U is the CEO of Developing Options. Developing Options contractor will provide gang intervention service. Okay. Here's something else that I want you to see. Chapter 2, Incident Response. It says Section 1, CIW, Incidents Response per hour. 9, on-call CIWs on a monthly schedule and outline their assignments in the Community Engagement Plan. CIWs shall have agency assigned.
And it pretty much cuts off there. But you pretty much heard what you needed to there. And I'll let you play it. I'll let you hear a detail.
Every time I speak, I want the truth to come out. And even if I get in trouble, you know what I'm saying? That ain't that what.
I'll let you hear a more detailed version of it.
GRYD. It stands for Gang Reduction and Youth.
Pretty much it's explaining how, and I'm looking up something here with development options, because I wonder now if I could find something with him and Marcy investment partnership. I'm going to dig a little bit further as far as that goes. Okay. So $325 million. Okay. So there is a little bit of an article in there, but I want to make sure I do something. I want to make sure I have confirmed. But yes, development options and Marcy investment partnerships work hand in hand. So that would be another key implement of where Jay-Z and Big U have business. Big U has development options. Jay-Z has his thing called Marcy investment partnerships. So he would be someone that Big U would be doing business with, as far as Big U would pretty much be managed by Marcy investment partnerships. Development options would be underneath Marcy investment partnerships. That's how that would go. So Grid, I'm gonna let them finish talking about that as well. Grid is what Mr. Eugene Henley has been funded by, and Eugene Henley has been working with the LAPD in Grid to pretty much keep things in a certain order going on within the neighborhood. So again, it goes back to the fact that Nipsey was going against the grain with showing the unity in the hood, as well as he was going against the rules of the extortion. So with Big U having the powers that be behind him, he was able to pretty much get funded to remove Nipsey Hussle, because Nipsey Hussle was being a disruptance in the Grid Foundation program. Nipsey was pretty much doing everything against what Grid Foundation was doing, pretty much doing their job for them. And you know how LAPD does with the corruption of their system, allegedly. Exactly. Pretty much removing him and taking his idea of regentrification and pretty much making it their own. Yes. And I didn't necessarily go in on that first video where we talked about where Diddy had his involvement. But yes, very much so. That snake bitch. Specifically that snake bitch. Very much something to do with it. Tucked her fucking tail when his passing happened. I mean, tucked her fucking tail when his passing happened. Pissed me off, Miss Karen Civil. And you supposedly grew up with this nigga. But you tucked your fucking Hollywood evil tail when he passed. Let that be known, damn it. You tucked your fucking tail when Nipsey passed, and you supposedly grew up with him. Fucking shady Hollywood. Shady industry. Let's continue with Big Udo.
Development. I'm about to show you some documents, and I'm about to show you contracts. I'm about to show you these contracts is dealing with Big U. His real name is Eugene Henley. They're dealing with developing options. And you're about to see what's going on. You're about to see why Big U is arrogant. Why he keep his chest pumped up. Him and Wack. And Wack know everything I'm about to say, everything I'm about to show you. Wack know. He know. See, he backed up by every major city official in LA. Yes. Check this out. And Hassan Campbell, he did the right thing by recording. He did the right thing, because if he wouldn't have recorded him and he just put it out there, guess what? Guess what would have happened? He would have denied all of that. And he would have got into an argument and kept going and going and going. But he got set out there. So ain't no argument. You said what you said. Now the world hear it. And now the world finna see this. Check this out. This document right here. City of Los Angeles. You see what it say? Gang reduction. See what it say? And y'all can go, blow it up, go back and read it or whatever. It say City of Los Angeles. It comes from the Grid book. And these is documents from Big U's contract with his organization, Developing Options. It's the Gang Reduction and Youth Development Contract. He's the contractor. The contractor, Developing Options. This is what it says. The title, Gang Reduction and Youth Development. Said agreement is number C-126-488. That's what it is. That's exactly what it is.
That like, comment, subscribe.
You see, this is just, I didn't put everything in there. There's like 200-300 pages. These are some of the, table of contents and everything. You got the contract summary sheet that was dated October 15th, 2015. The contract number is on there again, C-126-488. I know y'all like, where are they going with this? You see the total amount, $555,000 for Developing Options, the contractor. Big U is the CEO of Developing Options. Developing Options contractors will provide gang intervention services in the 77th Grid Zone. That's the 77th precinct, LAPD, the police department. Okay. Here's something else that I want you to see. Chapter 2, Incident Response. It says Section 1, CIW, Incident Response Protocol. CIW is Contracted Intervention Worker. It states contractor, I already told you who that is, should provide 24-hour, 7-day-a-week incident response coverage for their contracted grid zone or secondary area zone. Okay.
Jeezy Miyake.
Contractor shall assign on-call CIWs on a monthly schedule and outline their assignments in the community engagement plan. CIWs shall have agency-assigned cell phones to ensure prompt response to incidents.
Yeah, this nigga basically the police, nigga.
Check this out.
Ain't no basically. These police. Big U is police. Informer, if you will. Informer. Now, being that we've been on the subject of Jay, right? So there's a couple of reasons. To why Jay would try to remove Nipsey Hussle. Right? So let's think about this. Nipsey died in 2019, right? He signed to Roc Nation in 2018. As well as he would do the partnership with Atlantic Records at around the same time, right? So at the same time, he does All Money in Records with Atlantic, solo act in Live Nation with Roc Nation, right? 2018. I have always found it ironic how when independent successful artists suddenly sign a record deal and a year later they are gone. I find it very ironic that that is very much the case. Every single time a independent artist that has already gained the groundwork, gained the cult fan base, has the following and influence, forget how much they're making. How much revenue do they generate? I find it very ironic that every time one of these artists sign to a record label and they have the power of a Nipsey Hussle already, they don't exactly stay alive for too long after they sign the deal. We're going to get into that as well, Icon. We're going to get into that part as well with little Miss Fast Ass Lauren. So, signs to Roc Nation in 2018, right? Here's where things get a little bit tricky. This here had to be debunked for the simple fact that a huge rumor started going around about Jay-Z having a $15 million trust fund for Nipsey Hussle, and the fans were left in a bit of confusion. So Nipsey Hussle fans are in a skeptical position for more than one reason. For one, the exploration of the Dr. Sebi conspiracy wheel conflates the real motivation behind his killing, or lack thereof. Regardless of how many public eulogies come into effect, Nipsey's death has given rise to a flurry of peripheral conversations, some with little to no relation to the issue at hand. So, the Jay-Z Trust Fund was one of them, amongst other tweets, or should I say, and allegations and things like that. But where did the Jay-Z Trust Fund actually come from? Where did that rumor come from? Okay? That's the biggest thing I started asking myself. Well, like I said, Nipsey signed the partnership with Atlantic Records the same time that he did the deal with Roc Nation. So when I'm thinking about his passing and the fact that he was worth more dead than alive, I then start to think about what Jadakiss and French Montana have also gone on record in saying lately, as far as insurance policies, life insurance policies specifically, are taken out on these artists. Now, it had nothing to do with Nipsey owning his publishing and things of that nature. This was still a thing where if we take a life insurance policy out on one of our artists to recoup them when they pass, that has nothing to do with them still being able to own their shit. So, a la Pop Smoke, a la, let's say, another artist that owned a Dolph, Young Dolph, okay? Just because Young Dolph owned all of his shit doesn't mean that the person that was in charge of the life insurance policy didn't skate off with a couple of $1 million, okay? You following? The life insurance policy that has nothing to do with the person's masters. the life insurance policy always is one of the key reasons behind a label being okay with a passing of a superstar, thus of Nipsey Hussle's stature. So I then began to think about myself, okay, how do we have any proof that Jay-Z has, or should I say Roc Nation, takes out life insurance policies, right? On top of them confirming they had a deal with Sony and Atlantic. See, here's where things again get tricky. Jay-Z has confirmed a Roc Nation deal with Sony and Atlantic back in 2009. So Reddit had actually debunked this, that Roc Nation is not its own thing. A lot of people think Roc Nation is its own management and record label, when in fact it is actually underneath Sony and Atlantic Records. So whoever is at the head of Atlantic Records, which I believe is Warner, who's ever at the head of Atlantic Records is the head of Roc Nation. So, catalyst for a successful career and got offed once they signed to a major. Yes, that's the fucked up part. That is the fucked up part there. Shout out to Nip's partner Dolph. Yes, very much so, very much so. I forgot that those two were kind of close as far as ideologies. So having the fact that there's life insurance policies involved with, we know for a fact Atlantic Records, because when we covered the whole Takeoff thing, we uncovered Motown Records having something to do with that, right? So, like I said, we know that record labels take life insurance policies out on artists. So here's another thing that would, if you don't have any confirmation, okay, that Roc Nation does that. Look at this. Roc Nation seeks $11 million from insurer in Jordan Feldstein's death. Roc Nation filed a federal lawsuit Friday seeking $11 million from its insurance carrier following the death of Maroon 5 manager Jordan Feldstein. Roc Nation, a joint venture of Jay-Z and Live Nation Entertainment, partnered with Feldstein's career artist management in 2016. At the time, Roc Nation says it took out a key main life insurance policy with HCC International Insurance to protect its investment in Feldstein. The policy carried a liability limit of $12.5 million, which would recoup the company for lost revenue due to Feldstein's death. So if that don't fucking tell you that labels take life insurance policies out on people, that is full fucking confirmation right there. So there was most certainly a life insurance policy negotiated for Mr. Hustle. There was most certainly a life insurance policy for him. So if you want to know where Jay-Z allegedly comes into play with Nipsey Hussle, Nipsey would be his biggest, if not biggest, insurance policy claim in fucking music history. Because it's one of those ones that is early on in value at a high rise and will only continue to go up. It's not like it's something that it's not like a Michael Jackson value that can go down eventually, right? Nipsey's stock is only going up. So if you kill him while his stock was going up, it's no different than you pretty much Jay-Z got his own Biggie Smalls with Nipsey. Because you see how Diddy was able to eat off of Biggie's killing for how many years? Right? Jay's now able to eat off of that killing for God knows how long because of the life insurance policy, right? Like I said, nothing to do with the masters. But then I asked myself, nigga, how are you even getting, even if there was a rumor about it, how would you even be getting $15 million in the first place? You got $15 million for that life insurance policy on him. That's what happened there. And of course, that might be chump change to Jay. But $15.5 million ain't chump change to the label Rock Nation. That's funded by another record label. Okay? Following here. Another reason Jay would have something to do with it would be, and I found this article here. Excuse me. Where is it? Wait. Hold on. Oh, it is this right here. Okay, so this gentleman here was in heavy talks with Nipsey Hussle. I can't, just for copyright reasons, play it, but Nipsey talked about working with a visionary that was pretty much helping if you guys remember, Nipsey heavily praised and talked about this gentleman because he was helping him with the Marathon store, and it was the first virtual reality store that you can go into, the first augmented reality and virtual reality store that you can actually go into and purchase items. So, revolutionary genius of his own kind. Okay, this was pretty much someone that was attached to Nip's hip. Says the young visionary was born in Accra, Ghana, and raised in Compton and Harbor City, California. That key part right there. Raised in Compton and Harbor City, California. This was Nipsey Hussle's homeboy, okay? This was his go-to guy in investment that helped him get up the Marathon clothing store, okay? So this part right here is key. His collaboration with late hip-hop artist Nipsey Hussle would establish him as hip-hop's face of technology. You hear that? His work with the late Nipsey Hussle established this gentleman as the face of technology for hip-hop. Okay? In 2017, the Marathon store in Crenshaw, LA became the world's first smart store, allowing customers to interact with objects in the store to unlock augmented reality experiences and obtain access to limited edition items. Customers could buy merchandise and get a sneak peek at exclusive material from the West Coast rapper via an app, thanks to Sandu's role as chief of technology. Idris has a conscious worldview and a youth-centric vision that's innovative, refreshing to witness, Jay-Z expressed. We share similar parallels in how we imagine impacting people in our lifetime. Partnering with him on his journey and others is very exciting. I bet you the fuck it is, Jay. I bet you the fuck it is. Why would he not buy that mini? Let's think about that. Why would he not buy that mini? Especially if put it like this, right? If I know I'm going to eventually do some type of business with you or some type of negotiation with you and have you, employed by me, if you will, right? I do some type of incentive gifting. I do some type of incentive letting you know that I do see you at a certain value. So I'm willing to invest this $20 right now. Even though you're asking for $5, I'm willing to invest this $20 right now. Just to make sure that it goes towards what you might be doing. Okay? See, with the QR code technology for his products. So, okay. Yeah, so basically this gentleman was a key factor in the Marathon store becoming what it became. As far as other stores following suit with that would be much, much later on, okay? But the fact that Jay got him removed on top of the life insurance policy, you have this key part right here to where he now has Nip's boy as far as moving forward in business and saying, hey, I've got a tech guy now. that can pretty much do what I need to do for all of my other businesses. I wouldn't have been able to do that had I not been able to remove Nip, because like I said, this particular guy was attached to Nip's hip and getting him up and running with the Marathon store and helping him run that. That was pretty much this guy's job, was to help Nip with running the Marathon Smart Store. After Nip's passing is when the Virgil Abloh effect happens, and his greatness is seen. On top of now, it's everyone has to, of course, raise the price and value. Okay? So this was one of those things where you have to just take it with a grain of salt, but understand that life insurance policies on artists are very real. And you just never know when someone is just inviting you to a brunch. It might just be for an actual business meeting of some sort. And as far as this gentleman goes, well, we all know what his prize possession was for removing Nipsey Hussle. There wasn't too many other things that Diddy wanted. And as Gene Deal has always said, what Diddy wants, Diddy gets, eventually, doesn't he? That was one of the main reasons why we broke down the fact that, Diddy was a lot closer to Lauren than a lot of people actually noticed. Because who in their right mind allows this type of picture to happen with their wife? And then everybody got mad when Kodak Black is saying he thinks he has a chance with Lauren. But Kodak was easily saying, yo, I think Diddy already dated Lauren too. Y'all getting at me for being, disrespectful at this, but what about him? Kodak specifically came out and said he was fucking that girl. So, again, Diddy's was very much, his was more out in the open than everybody else's. His was way more out in the open than everybody else. Because his was more of a greedy type of thing. You get to be executive producer of one of the hottest albums that is going to be by a now late rest in peace rapper. You get to now be executive producer of a new deceased artist. Okay? Think about that. That's Diddy's benefit right there. He gets to be executive producer of a recently deceased, highly popular and valuable artist. Cha-ching. Then you couple it with the Revolt TV specials that keep going on about the marathon continues. The marathon continues. The marathon continues. Just, you see, if you turn on Revolt right now, you won't see nothing but marathon continues, right? You think that's by accident? That you see nothing but marathon clothing all over Revolt TV? It's not by accident. Especially when supposedly the kids are the ones that actually own the marathon store now. But guess who has, say so over the kids? That would be Lauren London, the mother. But who has say so over Lauren? Diddy. So while we're all thinking to ourselves, Lauren, received $25 million, $5 million, whatever it was. You look no further than that man in that gray suit as far as where that $5 million went with Lauren London. Because that same man right there is the main person that, talked her out of wearing sweatpants to her boyfriend's funeral. Talked her out of wearing sweatpants to her boyfriend's funeral. I'll say that again. Evil. Evil vultures, Juju. Very evil. Very, very, very evil. So, again, how this all ties in Jay-Z gets the life insurance policy money of $15 million or more because that value actually raises now that the person is actually gone. More things can be used as far as the likeness, as far as, making money off of Nipsey while he's gone. So that life insurance policy goes a long way when, Rock Nation is able to continuously eat off of Nip's passing the way they will. Imagine that. You're dead and gone, but a bit of your debris is actually making headlines right now because of AI. It's Diddy. Then you couple it with Diddy and his wanting of Lauren London. On top of, we have to also pay a key factor of this, right? So, oops. Come on. So, think about this, right? Remember when the LAPD said that they couldn't arrest Diddy because the video was too old, the video of him kicking Cassie? Right? This is informant number 3 that was around Nipsey. I say informant number 3 because you have Big U, you have him, and then you have, if you want to put Wack or Lauren in that one. But there were many people that was pretty much helping, set up this operation of removing Nipsey Hussle. Like I said, Diddy babysits for a while everything's being set up. Gets himself executive producer on an album because the rapper is going to now be deceased. And he knows that this is an investment right there that I can't afford to miss because it's Nipsey Hussle. And when he dies, I'm going to make more money off of him. I'm going to make so much money off of the Victory Lap album because I am executive producer on it. If I have a life insurance policy, Rock Nation, Jay-Z, the life insurance policy is carried upon that artist. So now, regardless of whatever I got, that artist is still under contract with me. So marathon continues. Yes, the marathon does fucking continue. You're right. You absolutely goddamn right. The marathon continues. Makes you think about that whole statement a little bit differently now, doesn't it? When you hear marathon continues. Of course the marathon continues because they want to continue the investment in the marathon continuing, huh? And then of course Big U, you liar you. Working with the grid to remove Nipsey Hussle in the LAPD. So now that we have played Connect 4 here, we have every key point into why Nipsey Hussle was killed and removed. He was affecting the Grid Foundation. Big U needed him out of here. So I also looked up this, right? Look at this. This is from a payment. This is a contract summary sheet from the Grid contract, right? See what it says? Mayor's Office of Public Safety. Justin Harris. Contract date July 7th, 2017. Ooh. I am under the weather, excuse me. July 7th, 2017. Adopted by council May 24, 2017. Community Build Inc. was the contractor name. Don't that sound familiar? If we're thinking about development options, right? Contractor name here says Community Build, though. The amount of $4.2 million. This person, Justin Harris, was pretty much carrying out, more contract work to help maintain order. But $4.2 million on the contract? Ooh, you getting paid a hefty amount, huh? And then we heard the amount Big U got for getting rid of this guy, right? He was in 5 figures too. Right. They all were looking to just simply remove Nipsey. They felt they didn't have a choice but to just remove him. So you have, like I said, the Grid Foundation. Yes, that's another thing, Juju. I do believe eventually they're going to do something very Epstein-esque with Diddy, but they don't want to do it too soon to where someone ends up, allegedly hanging themselves. Especially when Gene Deal has publicly said that he's the type to do that. So that's what I hear when I with things like that. I wish that things were different because Nipsey was a fellow Leo brother of mine. And, being an August relation to the Lion, you understand, that your confidence is seen one way to the people that, seem motivated and inspired by you. But that same confidence in your hustle and motivation will also be the single-handedly thing that kills you because there's so many people that are jealous of that motivation. So many people are jealous of that motivation and hustle and strive that you do. You overcome that struggle and you start making doors and opening avenues for other people. But you didn't do it under the watchful eye of the agenda. You did it on your own. You did things without us telling you. You did things to benefit others without us telling you. There's a no-no, Nipsey. Among the Dr. Sebi, he didn't even want to talk about it, but Charlemagne, sometimes I say fuck Charlemagne for that because Charlemagne forced Nipsey to talk about the Dr. Sebi shit and he didn't even want to talk about it. And a lot of people said Dr. Sebi was one of the key reasons that he also passed as well because he couldn't get away. So it's one of those things where I just wish Nipsey was able to. Sometimes I wish Nipsey just didn't walk out the store that day. I wish Nipsey didn't walk out the store that day. And I wish even more that he didn't answer the phone for Big U. I wish he hung up on Big U. I wish he had hung up on Big U that day. Because if he had hung up on Big U and helped the store clerks with the customers, if he had hung up on Big U instead of stepping outside to take that call, Nipsey would still be here today. But because we have fuckhead Big U, because we have greedy Diddy, and because we have a Jay-Z, the businessman that he is, we lost an amazing brother.
What's up, man? Hey, yo, what's going on, yo? I'm sick and tired of 5-0 running up on the block. You know what I'm saying? Word, bust it. Informer, you know, say that I'm a stormy, I go blam. I like you, bum, bum, down. Take the man that say that I'm a
I'll be spinning the block by Thursday. Maybe sooner. Because I do have, I might as well get into what Trump been doing.
Almost forgot what I was doing. Almost forgot where I was going. I've been driving, I've been
smoking. You know how we do. I love y'all.
Almost forgot what I was doing. Almost forgot what I was drinking.
Shout out to Icon Vaughn. Shout out to Emil Mendez. Shout out to Tamika Show. Shout out to Juju. Shout out to Malcolm Barrett. Shout out to Night Night. Icon Vonnie.
Dollar signs all on my head. Rolling solo dolo.
I think I said Juju. Emil Mendez, what up? And of course, shout out DJ Beer Gang. Shout out King Ozma and the homie Fury B.
For my section, roll with my protection. Who gon' die next?
Till next time.
Trying to get elected. Riding by myself. Time for some reflection. I feel like a young boss. That's thankful for his blessings.
Thank you, Juju.
Can't even lie. I ain't even flex. Block for me, black man. No, they trying
Most definitely dream.
I ain't trying to preach. I ain't trying to direction. When you make your first million cash, you gon' feel the pressure. Just wanna feel a thrust, wanna feel a texture, wanna feel a drop top breeze, wanna feel successful, wanna chase a kind, never chase a message, never stop grinding, cherish no possessions. We ain't get accepted, we just reinvest. Thanks what I expected, cause we ain't even set you. 60th the mecca, choppers fuck detectives, FBI investors, but they can't arrest us. Almost forgot what I was doing. Almost forgot where I was going. I've been driving, I've been smoking. Almost forgot what I was doing. Almost forgot what I was drinking with. Now I'm just riding through the city. You just bitch.
Little shit like that. Next thing, fun but no. What it is you really do.